I'm Shireen from Olive Street Designs. Let's get into this makeover. I have never come across a pair of nightstands like this. Well, I've seen them like this where they're just a train wreck, but the details on the fronts of the drawers are very unique. They're very mid-century. I just love the molding, but yeah, they were covered in I don't even know what and a mess. Somebody had previously flipped these. I had to get that paint off of there. I used Green Easy as the stripper. I left it on there for an hour and this all came off very easily. I was pretty happy with how, this was my first time using this product and it came off really easily. And then it also softened the finish underneath the paint, so my carbide scraper went through that like butter. I'm sanding with 120 grit just to get the rest of everything off. I'm doing the sides of the drawers. There's no way I'm getting that paint off of there. Taking that really unique hardware off. I had a few broken drawer guides, but I had recycled some from some other pieces, so I was able to easily replace those. Okay, I'm adding some support for new legs. Just 2x4s that I cut down. I'm attaching brad nails here. I attached a triangular piece in the middle to help stabilize that. So there's lots of stability on those. I didn't just slap them on there, but I did want to cover that up. So I cut a piece of backer board to fit that spot, and I'll paint that so it will all look seamless on the back. More brad nails. Looks great, you wouldn't even know. So after hours of prep, which went by in 30 seconds, I wheeled these into the tent, started priming. I'm using a tinted primer that's called Sticks from Inselex. It's a Benjamin Moore primer. I love this primer. It's got great coverage and it is a bonding primer, so it sticks to everything. And since the fronts of these drawers are that molded plastic, I really wanted to make sure I had some extra bonding to hold the paint. You know, many times I take those plastic pieces off, but this piece was so unique and that hardware just fit so perfectly that I decided to leave it. It really just fit the overall piece, and I think it'll be fine once it's all painted. So still just getting my primer on. People ask me all the time about my sprayer. This is a Wagner Flexio 5000. As you can see here, it just goes on so evenly. I do dilute paint and primer. Once everything was dry, I sanded the primer with a sanding sponge that's a 350 grit. Forgot to film it, but I always sand the primer to get everything super smooth before going in with paint. This is the Benjamin Moore paint, and it is called Fairview Taupe. While these were in process, I had somebody snag these, and they actually chose this color. So I wasn't quite sure what color I was going to do, so I'm thankful that they chose something. It's a really interesting color, but it will coordinate well with their bedroom furniture. So this is a good shot where you can see when I'm spraying how I'm overlapping each pass. And I overlap probably 40 to 50%. That way you get really even coverage, no thin spots or anything. Yeah, looks great. That's just one coat. So these drawers, I don't usually paint drawers, and I was so disappointed and sad to see that these had been painted. I would have stripped these, but they had been painted with spray paint, and there is just no getting that paint out of sides of drawers. The way that that wood grain is, it just holds every little ounce of it. So these are getting painted, and I painted everything. I was so sad. There are dovetails even. Can't see them anymore. But I painted the inside of the drawers and the outside of the drawers. Yeah. It pains me to do it, but it was a necessary process here. And painting drawers with the sprayer is not the easiest thing, just because you can't get your sprayer inside. So lots of maneuvering around, but we got it all done in the end. The bottom of the drawers must be some type of a, either a laminate or something, because they were a different consistency. They did not necessarily like the paint. So I knew right away, even though I painted them here, I was going to line these. because I hate when people would go home and start using something and the paint, you know, chips off. So I have a really cool liner that I think is really super close to this color that I think would be amazing with this piece. So I'm going to do that. I did 2 coats of paint, and here I'm actually doing top coat. So I use General Finishes High Performance Flat Top Coat. It does, even though it's flat, it does still have a tiny bit of sheen, and I just love it. This amazing hardware, it's so cool. I didn't think it would fit this piece, and I didn't keep those molded areas, so I've been scuff sanding, and now I'm painting because I'm adding feet. Those feet come gold. They're the wrong color gold as well, so I'm going to be painting all the feet and all of the handles or the pulls so that they all coordinate. So I'm marking everything. You can see now those little 2x4 supports in the back. And because the feet screw onto the side and the back, it really does still hold everything together really well. So I marked all the holes. I'm just going around for pilot holes, and there's some, these are little 3-inch feet that I got from Amazon. I like them. They're just a little different than you see a lot of times, and I'm all for that. I like things a little different. I've already painted these, so I'm getting ready to just attach them here. These are simple and super easy. You just line them up on one side. These are super easy to install. Once you have everything all marked and drilled, you just line up one hole, and it's a long hole so that you can move these around. And then the second hole, when you put the screw in the second hole, it keeps everything in place. We'll speed that up since it's boring, but now you can see when I stand it all up, there's those adorable feet. Once we get the handles in place, these are going to be so cute. I'm just going to attach that hardware. Okay, so I'm going to clean out the drawer. I did get my carbide scraper out just so I could scrape the bottom of the drawer because I knew this paint was not going to adhere well. So I just wanted to make sure everything was super smooth. Nothing was loose. I want the drawer liners to really stick. And these are my drawer liners. This paper is very thick, and wow, it's just holding the shape of that roll. It was kind of hard to work with because it was so rolled up. Anyway, I score it. I have this T-square, and it works amazing for drawer liners. I am not one to waste product. I don't like to cut these bigger than they should be and then put them in there and cut around the edges. That's not how I do it. So I measure everything. I cut it to the exact size, both in length and width. The T-square is amazing for this because you can score everything and your lines will all be straight. Usually the liners aren't quite so curved, so they're easier to cut and easier to dry fit, but these are crazy. So anyway, I'm just fitting it in here to make sure it's all gonna fit well. Otherwise I would make some little adjustments to it, cut more off if I needed to. But I was satisfied with it and how it was gonna fit in there, so I removed the backing. This is a small drawer, so I just took the whole backing off. If I'm doing a really large drawer, I just pull back a corner and get that corner totally situated before I pull the backing from up underneath. That way it continues to stay straight and you don't run into it sticking to itself. I'm just using a plastic putty knife here, making sure to get out any air bubbles. I want it to be in there and not come out. So there it is. And here's the finished product. I hope you like it. If you remember where they came from, these were a train wreck, and now they are beautiful. Thanks for following along. And if you don't follow me, make sure and hit that follow button.